The most evil channel on YouTube? I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff on here, so I feel like there's no shot it's worse than some. I mean, some of the kids' content's crazy,
My
but.
son is almost 2 and I've been letting him watch Cocomelon, but now I had to get him speech therapy so I can get him to talk. There are hundreds and hundreds of anecdotes in which parents mention the exact same problem.
I've heard of this.
The Cocomelon show is so insanely addictive, it's being compared to nicotine and causing developmental issues amongst the kids who can't stop watching.
That is crazy. But I've seen several kids that I know that have been unable to talk for more than normal and then they can later. I don't know if they watch Cocomelon, but if true, that's insane.
Children's TV expert Jerica Sands calls it the most damaging show a child can watch, explaining the sneaky ways in which they make the show addictive. Firstly, there's the colors. Take for example the wheels on the bus. The 3 main colors, blue, green, and yellow, are all at maximum saturation, meaning they cannot be made any brighter, no matter how hard you try. Extreme saturation is normally used for alerts and notifications, as it's exciting, dynamic, and attracts attention, which is why it's also used in slot machines.
What? I didn't know that. That means if I'm making thumbnails, I'm gonna do an A/B test on my other channels with one that's 100% saturation and one that's not. I'm literally gonna write this down and see. Straight up, just ask my artist. Let's do that. Why not? Let's see.
Cocomelon puts these colors in perfect contrast, making them appear even more vibrant, which is different to, for example, Bluey, in which the colors instead blend together.
Okay, well, okay, all right. I'm shut down, I guess, by that one.
It's also different because it's highly repetitive. There's a reason they have 38 videos with over 1 billion views. A child's brain is wired to learn through repetition, so it feels right to them to watch the same thing over and over again.
That would explain why, as a kid, I watched the same Barney episode like 50 times in a row.
The Yes Yes Playground song, they pick a word to repeat 3 times in every sentence, pairing it with a subtly repeating background lullaby, keeping children hooked. Literally no show or movie puts my son into a deep trance.
See, this makes sense to include a comment, because it's like somebody's anecdotal experience with it, which is crazy. But like, the last one's bizarre.
The way Cocomelon does. The second it's on the TV, he turns into a toddler zombie who doesn't see or hear anything else that's going on in the room. This is only exacerbated by Cocomelon subtitles, which are
weird to say because maybe true, but wouldn't the subtitles help you learn to read? I don't know. I feel like that would be a good thing, but maybe not.
have also been a heavy point of criticism. The letters are not educational. I can barely
read
them fast
that's
enough.
valid.
It's simply another interesting element to capture your little one's attention.
Valid.
Cocomelon explains in every description, our goal is to help make learning a fun and enjoyable experience for kids, giving you the peace of mind that your children are receiving quality educational content. But people have argued
I wonder if it is too
that
fast.
they're teaching exactly what children shouldn't do. For example, in the No No Bedtime song, the baby refuses to brush his teeth, have a bath, put on pajamas, or get in bed.
That is weird. Like, they had to go through a full process and say, like their mission statements to help kids, and they went through a full process in their company, and they're like, you know what? No, we're gonna go ahead and convince children to not listen to their parents. I mean, unless this is out of context. If that's true, which at this point, we've made some weird calls so far. I don't know if it is, but if it is true, that's bizarre.
He eventually agrees to do so, yet a TikTok user was critical, stating, anytime I'd ask my son to do a simple task, he'd say no, no, no. He's sitting there watching Cocomelon, which taught him no, 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 and to say no to me.
Interesting.
On the topic of education, Jerica Sands stated, these people don't give a shit about our children. They care about money. That's it. Your child's cognitive development in direct exchange for their wealth, and there's pretty good evidence supporting this.
I'm excited to see it.
A New York Times journalist visited Cocomelon's studio, discovering their #1 focus is keeping children hooked. Cocomelon's data and analytics team sifts constantly through YouTube numbers to determine exactly what resonates.
So this one's weird to me because that is kind of a goal of any creator to make content that people would want to watch and enjoy. So like on one hand, it's like as a YouTube creator, that makes a lot of sense because if you like watch a video and I see you guys are dropping off, then we're gonna like cut it out. Like I'm learning. But like these are valid questions. Like of course should the music be louder or softer? Like that is really something you want to know, right? Like it makes sense. And to have a data team also makes sense. It's like how could you run a company without running through data? Like it's kind of like it makes sense. I mean to me so far it makes sense. If you're running YouTube, you should do this.
Should a girl wear black jeans or blue jeans? Should the music be louder or softer?
That's valid.
Should the bus be yellow or red? Yellow is the answer, as they use a darker method to ensure that they're correct. Cocomelon has a dedicated Distractatron room, in which once a month children are brought here one at a time and shown a handful of episodes episodes to figure out exactly which parts of the shows are engaging and which are tuned out. Next to the TV playing Cocomelon, there's a second screen which plays a continuous loop of banal real-world scenes. A guy pouring a cup of coffee, someone getting a haircut, each lasting about 20 seconds. Whenever a youngster looks away from the Moonbug show to glimpse the Distractatron, a note is jotted down.
That's pretty crazy though, I'm not gonna lie. Like if you think about it, this could definitely be, this definitely could be abused. I can see that, you know, for children, that could be, yeah.
We can see what they're looking at and the exact moment when they got distracted. Therefore, education clearly isn't the primary goal.
Well, I mean, that's a leap. I mean, you could still want to educate people while also maintaining high levels of viewership. If your goal is to reach as many people as possible, you need the algorithm, which is really just audience behavior, to react well. And I think it's kind of crazy to say, if you don't optimize your content, or if you do optimize, you're a bad person, because otherwise you can't achieve your dream, your goal, whatever it is. And I think they go hand in hand. So I don't agree with this at all.
Keeping kids' attention is, and this is proven by Cocomelon's most addictive element, rapid camera cutting. It's crazy how many times the frame changes on Cocomelon. It's the same type of addicting behavior that we experience on a TikTok binge. It's the quick change of frame that releases that dopamine and makes the videos addicting to watch. Count the seconds between a change of frame. Well, TikToker the Circus Brain did exactly this. He firstly counts the changes on My Little Pony, concluding there's about 6 seconds between each cut. He then compares it to Cocomelon.
1, 2, 3, 1.
Now, what's weird about this is I do the same thing when I'm reviewing videos or I'm studying other creators, and this isn't really just a Cocomelon thing. I mean, a lot of creators I watch, I mean, Mr. Beast, you know, like a lot of creators will do about 1 to 3 seconds per cut. So it's not necessarily a Cocomelon thing. I think it's sort of like people's brains have changed and they want faster delivery and more stimulation. And that's just, you know, people don't watch it if it's not as fast. And I also think it's important to take context into this. I might be wrong, but a lot of times, certain parts of videos are cut faster for rhythm and other parts are slower. And so I don't know if we're cherry picking information here to just show one section where it's fast, or if like the entire video is this quick, because I think there's a significant difference. I actually am so curious. I'm gonna see if I can go find it right now. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, 1. I mean, this is relatively normal pacing to me. I mean, it feels like a very cherry-picked moment. I mean, does it not just feel like a normal show? It's not like hyper-edited at all. I mean, it is a little fast. Maybe for a kid, it is a little bit fast, but...
Which, when combined with every other element, creates some terrifying statistics. Dr. Kristen Summer explained that when showing an infant normal video content, they'll focus on the screen just 11% of the time. However, when the video is instead switched to Cocomelon, their screen engagement skyrockets to a whopping 74%.
See, again, I'd love to know what normal video content means. Like, does normal content mean content made for adults?
This therefore produces stories such as this. I used to volunteer for a preschool and they had song time. A Cocomelon video came on and all of the tots stopped what they were doing, put down their cheese crackers, and remained fixated on the screen for the duration of the video. It was honestly kind of terrifying. YouTuber Saberspark shared his own personal anecdote. He asked to watch a Disney movie with his 2 younger cousins, who both completely refused, and instead spent all day glued to an iPad playing the addictive show.
Kinda still makes sense. I mean, I watch sometimes YouTube, sometimes movies, it just depends.
Cocomelon made my kid a zombie, a mother talks about her son. He would be in a daze while watching it. You could be waving your hand right in front of his...
Okay, that's crazy. If that's real, I mean, that's pretty crazy. I mean, right? This is one where it's like, okay, I don't think that's normal, probably, you know, but that's crazy.
However, nothing shows the addiction better than the Cocomelon TikTok trend. Parents will play the show's intro loudly.
I would do this when Barney played.
And video their kids sprinting toward the television, where you can witness their mood change instantly. The New York Times journalist found something similar. The kid in the Distractatron had shown up in the midst of a tantrum, which ended the second he heard the Cocomelon theme song.
That's interesting. I feel like that was me as a kid also with Barney. I loved it. It would make me so happy. Or Magic School Bus or any of the shows I watch.
Obviously, there's a reason for this. Cocomelon is so hyper-stimulating that it actually acts as a drug, and what happens when you...
What even is that clip from? Did he just write that himself, or is that like a doctor quote, or what is that?
Take the drug away. Young children...
What? This doesn't look... This doesn't appear to be an article. Did he write this himself, or... You can't just pop up a quote on screen and highlight it and it becomes true. Where is that from? That's wild. I'm not saying Cocomelon's good. I'm just saying this video is full of these crazy leaps without any sources. I mean, What was that from? What?
The Poff 1 filmed what happens when you take the show away, explaining he'll be inconsolable for at least 10 to 15 mins after, adding in the description, Cocomelon meltdown is legit. Once you have a taste of the cocoa, it's hard to break the addiction, which this Reddit user had experienced even worse. My husband and I have been worried about it.
It's interesting because like almost every source he has is from a random comment from Reddit or something. I mean, not to say they're fake, I don't think they are, but they could be. We don't know any of these people. I can't believe it.
I can slowly see how she'd throw violent tantrums at home and in church whenever she'd get bored and would want to watch the show. Her behavior changes the moment she watches the show, and she will not even eat her meals if she wouldn't watch it. After these tantrums end, kids can experience a general discomfort in the speed of everyday life. The more they watch the show, the more their brain begins to expect this intense level of
I mean, if it's real, that's great, but what? where is this from? This is wild.
Stimulation.
That's so funny, dude.
Cocomelon overstimulates.
Oh, it's from a girl. Okay. Oh, it's from a girl playing Lego Star Wars. Okay, never mind. We're good. It's true. It's true. My favorite part of this, though, is that it's not only reacting to a random girl saying this who has literally no source about who this girl is, but this girl is literally doing basically what Cocomelon's being claimed to do. So you're showing gameplay while talking about something else to stimulate us. So you're doing the exact same thing. This is crazy, bro.
However, the potential consequences get much worse than this. As mentioned,
yeah, I
at
bet.
The start,
Another
it
comment.
Was the cause of a child's speaking problems.
Oh, she's even saying, I'm not saying Cocomelon was the cause of this. Let's see if he calls out that specific line.
With a notable reply reading,
he doesn't.
Same thing happened with my daughter too. She's 4 but can't speak properly. She knows the words, but she does not like.
So I mean, it's possible, sure, that it could be Cocomelon, but both of these are saying that they have no idea if that's what it is. He's acting like this is a fact and like it's a huge thing. We have 7 comments from a year ago. 2 comments in a year on this thread that both don't even know if it's real. And this was in the intro of your video, like this was a fact produced by like some scientific study. Crazy.
To frame the sentence or speech. She has been watching these Cocomelons or such other stuffs for 2 or 3 years. Hope we're not too late. Over on Reddit,
more Reddit. You know that's true if it's on Reddit.
Explained
people can't lie there.
In general is linked with speech delays for a variety of reasons, but Cocomelon is excessively bad. Firstly, unlike other TV shows or movies, it doesn't have a story. It's just very short clips with poorly written songs.
I wasn't following a plot as a kid. I watched it because I liked the colors and the songs, bro. What the heck?
And see the resolution of a conflict supported by infant specialist Meg Fora.
And the problem with fast-paced TV programs is that we find that little one's language development is slower.
Okay, I think if that person's a doctor, we finally have maybe a source, maybe, but okay.
Agents of Speech YouTube channel, this is again confirmed.
The main problem with watching videos on the internet is that they don't know how to use the language that they learn.
But he adds that 4 to 5 hours of screen time per day can make a toddler completely non-verbal.
Now that sounds about right, but that doesn't sound like a Cocomelon problem. That sounds like a parenting problem.
4 to 5 hours is obviously a lot of time, but in Cocomelon Made My Kid a Zombie, researchers discovered that 5-year-olds who watch more than 2 hours.
Thank God, finally a source, I think. Although most of it's blurred, and I don't know if this is an article or an actual research, but this seems legit, finally. There we go.
Tended to have lower attention spans and was 7.7 times
Thank God.
Likely
actual numbers.
Symptoms of ADHD. These screen times might be even lower for Cocomelon specifically, because as explained by Jerica Sands, not all screen time is created equal.
Who is Jerica Sands? Let's just Google one of these people. MED in early childhood, a bachelor's in child development. Okay, so she has some good information. So not all screen time is created equal according to this person, which by the way, we don't know if that's 100% true because experts do disagree on things. So it could also still be cherry-picked data.
A child who just watched 30 minutes of Cocomelon and a child who just watched 30 minutes of Trash Truck will look like a very different child. Thankfully, here lies a simple solution. Sierra Renee explained my 2-year-old is speech delayed and addicted to Cocomelon. Switched to Miss Rachel 2 days ago, and he's already saying more words and hasn't had any tantrums.
Like, isn't that crazy? Like, does that even make sense for you to like say you're addicted to a show and then within just 2 days you improved? I mean, maybe, but that's a crazy leap too. I'm just like not happy with like how this video is making so many claims. 90% of them are just comments and anecdotal evidence.
They've therefore earned the title, The Absurdly Popular Kid Show Parents Hate, and Cocomelon has actually responded to the criticism that explain our shows are not intended to replace outdoor playtime or playdates. They have a place in children's entertainment time, and as with food, exercise, etc., it comes down to each parent to find the right and appropriate balance for their children. Our responsibility is ensuring that the quality of the content content that we produce is high and beneficial for the development of a child's cognitive and soft skills.
Valid.
It is worth adding that our social media communities are filled with stories of parents.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I said. I knew it. They're filled with parents who experience firsthand how much it helps children, but I bet none of those comments were put in this video because that doesn't help this one-sided narrative. It'd just been way more entertaining if we saw both sides. I mean, because I think it's actually important to talk about this stuff, and it could genuinely cause harm or actually help kids. If parents are just giving it to their kids for 10 hours, any show would damage them. But if they watch it for like, 30 minutes, one episode, whatever, it might be a nice little thing to stimulate and help them. And I don't think there's probably not a problem with that. And I think that's way more beneficial to parents to learn rather than just acting like it's only one-sided until the very end of the video where you go, also, there's a lot of other stuff I didn't include and I cherry picked all my information. It all comes at the end when like his retention is going to be the lowest, right? So if you watch a YouTube video curve, generally at the end of videos, maybe 50%, 60% if you're doing great, or less probably for him since this has a lot of views. 40% of people would have got here or less. But it's like, what, less than a minute talking about this? And so it's just kind of disingenuous, but I guess that is what it is.
But some of them are simply ignoring the downsides. My baby learned the alphabet and numbers from Cocomelon. She may not speak a complete sentence, but she expresses her wants through phrases. But is it Cocomelon's
Like that was another single cherry-picked comment.
responsibility to ensure that babies are talking? Well, no. People love blaming cartoons and games for raising children, and not the parents that don't step in to stop them from watching so much. Cocomelon is actually a really sad symbol of parents giving their children tablets instead of actually parenting and interacting with them. Ultimately, parents are the people who choose how much their child can